So welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And with me now, Rhys McCole. How you doing, Rhys?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Honestly, I'm great, mate. And I'm so glad to get you on. I saw you on Twitter and I just thought, what a lad. You know, he's done so much in his boxing career already. He's got everything going for him. I've got to get him on. And I'm not just saying that because you're in front of me, but I just think, what a top lad. You know, anyone that battles adversity in their life and have been through hard times and they've come up on top, I tap my hat off to you, mate. I think you're great.
Thanks very much. I appreciate you reaching out to me and getting me on. It means a lot. And like you said, you've seen me on Twitter, and I do post quite a lot of stuff on Twitter, and it's all to try and help people and inspire people, really. As much as it's me training and about kind of my journey, the whole idea of it is to promote boxing and to promote people with disabilities, and no matter what challenges we face, we're just as capable as everyone else to reach the top of our game and do well.
Yeah. No, you're certainly doing it, mate. Seriously, and I know you are quite a shy individual in some ways. But yet, you know, you're very. I will use the word modest because you are that sort of person. You know, you just get on with it, and if you can help people along the way, then you feel like you've done your job. Do you know what I mean? And
definitely, yeah. It's all fine and well, everyone doing good things and doing well for themselves, but if we're not here to help each other along in our journey, then there's no really point in doing anything. We should all here to support each other and pushing each other to do well.
Yeah. No, I think you're a top lad, mate. But before we go all gooey and all that, I'll enough of that. Yeah, let's have a chat about you. You know, it hasn't been the easiest start in life for you, has it?
No, it's not been the easiest, but it's certainly not been the hardest in the world. There's plenty of people out there that face more challenges than myself, but right from being born, I spent 8 weeks in intensive care. I had asthma and holes in my heart, and from basically being born to the age of about 17, I was in and out of hospital maybe 5 or 6 times a year, not well, with different illnesses. At the age of 2, I was diagnosed. I battled sepsis and pneumonia, and then it was actually when I was 10 years old. I had only just joined boxing. I was hospitalised with a ruptured appendix. So, as you can imagine, that's not the ideal start of your boxing journey. But I'd never let it faze me. As soon as I was fit and recovered, I was straight back to my boxing club, training hard and practicing. So, just a wee bit of drive for me, really.
Yeah. Do you feel your boxing is kind of your go-to thing to shut other things out, or do you bring those into it to show others that, hey, you know, like you were saying earlier, you can do this regardless of what you have or what difficulties you go through, you can achieve?
Well, for me, boxing is probably the single best thing that's ever happened to me. Growing up, I wasn't able to get out to play like other kids were because, as you know, here in Scotland we don't have the best weather, so the cold weather can be quite bad for my chest. It leads to chest infections and getting taken into hospital. So out with my parents and my dogs, I didn't really see anybody apart from people at school. So going to the boxing club when I was 10 years old was my chance to socialise, meet new people, learn new skills, and just kind of break into my own stride in life, find what what worked for me, what I enjoyed. So without boxing, I probably wouldn't have had very much, if any, social interaction.
Yeah. So it's pretty much kind of pieced everything together for you in your life, isn't it? You know, it's brought in that social element, that fitness element, but it's, you know, on the road to achieving something. Yeah, it's kind of it's mad, isn't it? But when people turn around and say boxing almost saved my life, it really has, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, I think you'll know yourself, boxing, it's so good for you physically. Obviously, the fitness and the strength and the cardio is amazing. But the things that you learn in boxing out with the actual skills of boxing is phenomenal. The one thing that I noticed was it teaches you a sense of dedication, that just because you don't pick something up first time, or something didn't go your way the first time, you don't give up. You never give up. You go again and you try again and you keep going until you master it or you achieve it. And that's something that I've tried to carry on throughout my life, whether it was in school, in my workplace, or at college. It's those transferable skills that I really notice.
Yeah. So you tell us, you know, I know you don't like to brag because you're not like that, but what have you achieved so far in your boxing career so far?
Well, I've been boxing competitively for in total 7 years. But if you take out the years that I wasn't actually well enough to box, I've probably been boxing for about 4.5 years. And in that time, I've won runners up in the Western Districts, runners up in the Open National title, and I've won a gold in the novice national title, the intermediate national title, and a gold in the Scottish Open national title, as well as 2 golds in the Western Region Championships. So for having 20 fights, I've done pretty well.
You just, honestly, mate, when you turn around and say, I've had 20 fights, and you've just reeled off everything that you've just done. That's not pretty well, is it? That's for someone that's, as you say, battled their whole life to get somewhere and to do something just in life, let alone to get into the sport they love and smash it, to be perfectly honest. I think is incredible. And now you've got it's your apprenticeship, isn't it? Your job that you're in now.
Yeah.
You've just taken that up, so with your local council. So what is it? What is it you do?
So my apprenticeship's in business administration, and I was extremely lucky in the fact that I started just before the first lockdown. So I managed to get some time integrated into the workplace, learning new skills, and kind of getting a feel for working life before it was obviously the pandemic. But since we've returned to work, I've absolutely loved it. My employers at Inverclyde Council are fantastic. I really couldn't praise them high enough. They look after me, they support me, and they give me all the guidance that I need to do well.
I think you know it's that next step on the ladder for you, isn't it? And obviously, when boxing sort of opens up again for you, because obviously at sort of the grassroots amateur level, it's kind of sat there at the moment in a very difficult place, isn't it? So hopefully, you know, that's going to start to reopen. As you were saying to me before we came on, you know, you're still, you know, going for it down at your gym and doing what you can and exercising every day. I know I see your videos and stuff like that. I know you're non-stop.
Yeah, I'm still training twice a day in the house, 6 days a week, because at the end of the day, the pandemic is going to end. We will be boxing again at some point, so I would just quite like to be as fit and as sharp and as mentally ready as I can be for when that does happen. Because you know yourself, boxing, it takes a lot of physical and mental preparation to actually go in and fight. So I'm not really a fan of playing catch up, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, no, I think you're certainly in the zone, and I think now that you've got your job as well, I think that will mentally prepare you in a different way, because it makes you start looking at things in different ways, doesn't it? You know, and
yeah, it's definitely a balancing act.
Yeah, you're mentally sort of ready, aren't you? Because you're already switched on to something rather than being sat at home, or you know, you're actively doing something. So yeah, I think that's incredible. Before we jump into some boxing predictions, because I'm going to grab you on that before you go, the mad headline that came out here on the BBC News that you had passed away of COVID-19 was obviously a bit of a shock to you when you read it, because obviously you were alive. So how did they even get that wrong?
I'm not actually able to comment about that.
Because it's mad, isn't it? That's all I can say. I won't go, you know, yeah, it's mad, mate, to be honest. I literally read it and I thought, yeah, they're on form, aren't they? That's how we'll leave it. Back to boxing, mate. That's only because I was completely shocked that I read it and I thought, hang on. Yeah, well, just the mind boggles and it's news, isn't it? Back to boxing. Prediction.
Right.
Big fights coming up. We were obviously talking the AJ Fury. Hopefully that will get over the line at some point, but we'll come back to that down the line. I'll grab you on for a prediction show when that actually happens, because I'm still not convinced yet that that's going to happen.
Well, hopefully it does, because it's probably one of the biggest fights out there that the fans want to see anyway. Yeah.
But we'll go forward a week. You've obviously got Conor Benn, Jessie Vargas. Big fight. Conor Benn looking better each time he comes out, really, isn't he? Jessie Vargas, a tough individual. A lot of people say he's a bit of a gatekeeper. I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he's better than that. How do you see that one going?
Well, both boxers are obviously really extremely good and they're at a very high level. I think Conor Benn, with the help and knowledge of his dad, is only going to keep getting better. He's still young, and it's like you say, every time we see him, he's improved. So I would really wouldn't be surprised if the fight goes either way. It would be great to see Conor Benn win, but it's a tough fight for both guys, especially for Conor Benn moving up in the ranks.
Yeah. I personally don't think he's too far away now. I think from getting a world title shot of some description, I don't think he's too far away. I think he's looking better each time, and he's exciting, isn't he? You know,
he's great to watch, just like his dad.
Oh yeah. He's a bit of a chip off the old block on that one, isn't he?
Yeah.
And where else should we go? Unless there's a fight that stands out for you. Chisora Parker. Tough one.
I think a great heavyweight fight. I think Derek Chisora is exciting to watch. I think most people will agree he's a fan favourite. He brings fireworks. Joseph Parker, I actually really like. He's a technical boxer. I I think he works lovely behind the jab. We've seen him against Anthony Joshua. Obviously, it's a different kettle of fish this time, and I think it's going to be a really good fight with either fireworks on Derek Chisora's part or a lovely display of boxing by Joseph Parker.
Oh, there was no prediction there.
It's a really tough fight. I think it's, you know, in all heavyweight boxing, it really can go either way because they're so big and powerful. One fight can change it.
Yeah.
But I do like Derek Chisora to watch.
It is a tough one, mate. It's a really difficult one. And like we were saying earlier with the AJ Fury thing, I think this is another split down the middle job.
And it's quite similar to the Joshua Fury in terms of you've got one boxer who's quite technical, who's going to look for the gaps and the openings, and then you've got another boxer who is a big heavy hitter who is wanting to take your head clean off your shoulders, really.
Yeah. And Daryl, you never know what you're going to get from a press conference to a face-off.
To the actual fight.
Like when he lobbed the table at Dillian White, it was like absolutely.
I think it just peaked.
Mad, mate, and it's mad. But as you say, probably the best condition he's been in, being with David Haye. Parker's now with Andy Lee, and he's been training and I think sparring with Fury. So
yeah, and you don't get much better sparring.
Oh, no. If you're going to learn something off someone or have a difficult spar, that's probably the toughest one going, isn't it? And
yeah, definitely. I couldn't think anyone harder.
Yeah, I think there's honestly some cracking fights, and we'll end on one. Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders, which is another similar situation. You've got the technical boxer, but Canelo, just the full package, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's scary what he can do.
I'm a really big fan of Billy Joe Saunders. I think he's a lovely mover and probably on his day one of the slickest boxers in the world. But as we all know, Canelo, there's just something about him. He defends well, he attacks well, he sets his punches up phenomenally, and you just wonder if he's that good, or is Billy Joe Saunders going to be able to come in and just outpoint him?
Yeah, I think it's a tough one to call, mate. I think you look at, as you say, Billy Joe. Do you box him because Canelo just keeps on coming, doesn't he? He's one of those where he cuts the ring off so well that you can't do anything. You know, Yildirim, don't get me wrong, Yildirim wasn't. He was in it to get a payday, as far as I'm concerned, because there was no way Yildirim was coming out that in a good place, was he?
I think as well, once Canelo gets his combination punches are so quick and so crisp, once he catches you one punch, he's probably going to catch you 6, 7, 8 after that, and that's where the danger is. Yeah, and you never know where the punches are going to go or come from, and you've just got to hope one doesn't land on your chin.
Well, yeah, which is difficult, isn't it?
And what's the name of the game?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Hit and don't get hit, innit?
That's it. Yeah, that's what we should all be getting taught.
Definitely. Well, Rhys, I have to say, it's been cracking having you on, mate, and I genuinely mean that. I probably haven't met such a humble person that's just works hard, is dedicated, and gives his all in everything. And it's not a case because you've got to; it's a case of because you want to. And
yeah, that's it.
I think, you know, like we were saying earlier, my little boy's got autism, and you know, if he comes out close to how you are, mate, then he's been successful. Do you know what I mean? So,
thanks very much for having me on. I appreciate it so much, and I hope that even just this wee interview I've done has managed to inspire somebody to take up boxing or any sport for that matter.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, you're going to be someone that the kids look to, because that, you know, well, you're a kid yourself at the moment, mate, until you get to my age. But yeah, top lad, and you're welcome on any time. As I say, any prediction shows, I'm grabbing you on, and
Definitely.
keep in touch, mate.
I will. Thanks so much.
No problem. You take care, Rhys, and thanks for coming on.
You too. See you later.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Rhys McCole, what an absolute diamond. He's one of those where he just battles through whatever hurdle comes his way, and yeah, he just comes out on top. I think his boxing, his job, and all, as I say, all the adversity he's been through, and he just keeps on proving that nothing's going to get in his way. And hats off to him. I think top lad, and yeah, I've got only good stuff to say about him. So, you know, give Rhys a follow on Twitter. Check him out. His training videos, very inspiring lad, and wish him all the best for the future. And you've been watching JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And as I say, if you like what I do, hit the subscribe button, check out the other content, and yeah, I'll see you all soon. Thank you.